Welcome to Prayer and Bible Band, Lesson 9. I do not own the rights to this music. Today's topic is Daniel in the Lion's Den. The background reading is coming out of Psalms chapter 27, verse 1, Psalms chapter 55, verse 17, Romans chapter 3, verse 23, Luke chapter 16, verse 10, and Revelations chapter 2, verse 10. The devotional reading is coming out of Daniel chapter 6, verses 16 through 24. The central verse. I will read the King James Version first, and then the New Living Translation of Daniel chapter 6, verse 22. My God have sent his angel, and have shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocence was found in me, and also before thee have I done no hurt. The New Living Translation of Daniel chapter 6, verse 22. My God sent his angel to shut the lion's mouth, so that they would not hurt me. For I have been found innocent in his sight, and I have not wronged you, your majesty. The key terms for today's lesson: steadfast, decree, and reluctantly. Steadfast, firmly fixed in place, not subject to change, firm in belief, determination, or allegiance. Decree, an order usually having the force of law. Reluctantly, in a reluctant manner with aversion or hesitation. The introduction. Daniel, as a prominent figure in the Old Testament, is renowned for his unwavering faithfulness to God amidst challenging circumstances. He was named among the major prophets in the Old Testament. He lived a life of devotion, integrity, and divine intervention. He was taken from Jerusalem as a youth to Babylon. As a captive, he showed himself strong as a young man, faithful to the foundational truths that he had been taught. He refused to participate in ungodly living and remained faithful to God. Daniel's life was a legacy of faithfulness in the face of adversity. His commitment to God, even when he was confronted with the threat of death, highlights the importance of steadfast devotion and trust in God's sovereignty. Daniel's account continues to inspire believers to remain faithful regardless of the circumstances, trusting in God's ultimate plan and provision. The discussion. Daniel had the survival skills to overcome any adversity that came his way. He may have gotten knocked down a bit, but because he was a faithful warrior of God, he was able to get back up and continue to persevere, knowing a victorious ending was near. God equipped him with the tools to help him conquer anything that the devil sent after him. Just as God helped Daniel, he will send strength to every believer who asks, trusts, and believes in him. God's provision is enough. His presence is constant, and his purpose is unstoppable. All believers must know that the God we serve is faithful, and he will direct and order our steps. Believers must put their trust in God and allow him to lead their hearts as they may sway through the opinions and thoughts of others in life. After Daniel had interpreted the handwriting on the wall, Babylon came under the leadership of King Darius, who gave Daniel a prominent position for his outstanding work. This Jewish captive in a heathen land knew and served the true God, faithfully talking to him daily. The other leaders spied on Daniel, hoping to catch him doing wrong. Instead, they found him faithful in work and worshiping God. The other leaders felt threatened and resentful because Daniel was doing what was right. Jealousy is a cruel emotion to have toward others. These men were jealous of Daniel, and jealousy is sin. Jealousy puts murder in a person's heart. Believers must remember that every human has sinned, but they should make sure that jealousy is not found in their hearts. Jealousy is as cruel as the grave, and that's from Song of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 6. Because these men were jealous of Daniel, they sought to use his faithfulness against him. So the scheming leaders used flattery to trick the king into signing a decree which stated that all prayers must be addressed to the king. But the believers must remember that God takes what Satan intends for evil and turns it for his good and his glory. Because Daniel had a relationship with God, he was able to stay calm and face the evil and not be shaken by the new decree. Daniel knew that kings often thought of themselves as gods, and they loved the thought of someone bowing to them. Pride kept King Darius from seeing the true reason for the decree. It led him to accept worship that belonged to God, and it put his friend Daniel in a very difficult situation. The decree said the penalty for disobedience was death by being thrown into the lion's den. By this time, Daniel was an 80-year-old man and the chief administrator of the Persian Empire. He had been in captivity for 66 years because he knew what God had done for him all the years that he had been in captivity. He chose to continue being faithful, praying as he always did, even if it meant death. When a believer knows Jesus as their Lord and Savior, they can count on God helping them to be steadfast and faithful to Him. Daniel had committed his heart and mind to being faithful and pleasing God. He could not afford to allow the pressure of that decree to keep him from doing what was right. But when a believer knows to do right and chooses not to do so, he commits a sin. Daniel said that he would always bless the Lord, and his praises would always be in Daniel's mouth. Just as God helped Daniel to continue being faithful, He will do that for any of his children. Daniel's enemies accused him before the king, but he was powerless to change the law of the Medes and the Persians. The king struggled to try to excuse Daniel, but he could not. Once the royal seal was put on a decree, no one could change it. The conclusion. King Darius reluctantly commanded that Daniel be thrown into the lion's den, but he encouraged him to trust his God. Darius had seen the mighty works that God had done through and for Daniel. King Darius wanted to help Daniel, but he could not. But the same God who had kept Daniel faithful all of his life was yet there to help him. As Daniel faced the lions who were very hungry, Darius could not sleep, so he spent the night fasting. He rose early in the morning and went to the lion's den. He went in haste unto Daniel, saying, Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thou God who thou servest continually able to deliver you from the lions? Daniel answered the king and let him know that God had seen the situation and had not allowed the lion to harm him in any way. King Darius made another decree, which commanded everyone in that province to recognize that Daniel's God was the true God. The questions for today's lesson. Number 1, what is a lion's den? Number 2, why did King Darius make the decree? Number 3, how did Daniel respond? And number 4, what is the reward for faithfulness? The essential thought. When a believer is faithful to God, He will be faithful to them. The end. God bless you and thank you for joining me today.